What happened? What happened, yet we voted a duo? So this chance we were not given. What we saw was in Senate, people come in and the lawyers speak and other allegations, paperwork. So we Kenyans would have expected to hear his side of story. So in that, we say he was not given a fair hearing, and therefore that impeachment process was not conducted the correct way. Yes, I think my points, those are my few points. They are very fiery, so I don't want to keep.
Of course they are.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything. That's all for me.
Thank you. They are fiery. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
My Lord, Tess forgot to say that Kerugoya is in Kirinyaga.
Oh, yes.
Correct.
Can we see how many people are yet to submit? How many?
My Lord, there's the third petitioner.
Mr. Kibe. Where is Mr. Kibe? Can I see how many are yet to submit? So we'll proceed until 6.
Did your Lordship give an indication of up to what time we will be sitting?
6. 6.
Today?
Yes. You want us to amend it?
No, I just want, yes. I was just asking for clarity on up to what time today we will be sitting.
You know, these people, I don't know where the councils have arrived from, because when we were taking quorum, they were not this large. Some people have just appeared. Some of the councils have just appeared now, because you spoke about 8 people. 8 councils, yes. And then after that, we have had now, I see quite a number of councils are here. I don't know, maybe.
Probably a misunderstanding. The 8 council I stated
Yes.
are the 8 council appearing for the first petition. There are many other petitioners, and these council are for those other petitioners.
Yes.
But looking at the number, it's a matter entirely in your Lordship's
So we can do up to 6. Then after that, we can make further directions.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, my Lord.
My Lord,
My Lord, just so that I may get some clarity, the 2 of us going, 6 o'clock, that's in 30 minutes. It would be better if we took a proposal to get directions from the court, because I would definitely need more time. Unless maybe I might be lucky that there's one of us who can do it in 30 minutes to make 6. Okay, he's willing to do 30 minutes.
Okay.
Your Lordship, once again, my name is Morara Moke. I am the 43rd petitioner. I filed a petition on my own behalf, and I was deeply offended by the manner in which the impeachment process was being conducted. and therefore in compliance with the Constitution, I came before this court to defend it. It was not about my political alignment at the time, but about the Constitution, and that's why I'm here today. My petition is E027 of 2024. I have a supporting affidavit sworn on 9th of October 2024.
E0.
Sorry?
E047.
E027 of 2024. The same date. On the same date I saw the affidavit, 7th of October 2024. I filed very brief submissions dated 1st of April 2026, in which I sought to address two issues, as I do not wish to repeat what the first petition has already submitted on, but I fully support the submissions presented by the counsels for the first petitioner. And I will proceed to make a few additions. On the issue of public participation, I personally attended the public participation exercise at Kiambu Social Hall. I'm a resident of Kiambu County, although I'm born in Kisii. I attended, and I can confirm that the form that was provided to the participants only summarized the allegations against His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua without provision of any particulars or any evidence in support. So I can confirm as a participant, and there is no response in opposition to my petition to challenge that position. There was no evidence in support of the various grounds of impeachment as presented to the public. Secondly, there were no attachments of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua's response, which at the time had already been filed before the National Assembly. It was never provided to the participants. And as Aleron stated, the public was only being asked to give an opinion of yes or no, and only a very small provision at the bottom of the form to say any other thing. I also would like to indicate that the manner in which, rather the form, the language was only in English. And as you know, in this country, we have two official languages, English and Kiswahili. Earlier on in Swanya's submissions, he did talk about the BBI case. Actually, in that case, I prosecuted that point on providing different languages when it comes to public participation, especially on an issue that is so important as this impeachment. It was only done in English. There's no explanation why it was not done. They could have taken time, but because there was the hastiness with which this process was being carried out, of course, there was no attempt to provide for any other language. In my petition, I gave a background to the impeachment process, and I did find fault with the lack of partiality on the part of the Speaker of the National Assembly and the Deputy, and the remarks they made prior to the impeachment process. Starting with the Deputy Speaker, she did say, mimi mwenyewe nitampeleka nyumbani, in a public rally. Around the same time, the Speaker for the National Assembly even quoted a verse from the Bible about getting rid of something that is considered to be inappropriate, in reference to the Deputy President, even before the impeachment motion was presented before the National Assembly. And this, as we said, while they do not vote in an impeachment process, they preside. So it is extremely important that the two individuals who have the mandate of presiding over the impeachment process ought to act with impartiality, and they have to have no bias. And I have to say that the two of them totally failed. And that vitiates, in my opinion, in my own submission, that vitiates the entire process. They should have refrained. They could have been more restrained in their remarks, even if they that's what they believed. But they totally rendered the process unacceptable. I'll come to another issue. In the manner in which the grounds of impeachment were debated, and you look at the Hansard for the National Assembly, I'll make reference. I've seen multiple copies, but there's a copy before the court, I believe. I would ask you to look at page 18.
Which dated?
The Hansard is in reference to the impeachment proceedings. I believe it should be before. Without it, before this court would mean that I'm not able to point out the specific date, but it should be before the court.
We had two.
The one for the National Assembly. I'm making reference to the one in the National Assembly. It's 5th of October, 2024. Sorry, Your Lordship, 8th of October, 2024. In that particular Hansard, at page 18, I picked the remarks that were made by the Member of Parliament for Suba South, Karoli Omondi. At page 24, I picked remarks that were made, I believe those were made by Honorable Catherine Omanyo. And also, I'll take the two of them. So they went ahead and introduced other issues. Also, I forgot to mention the Member of Parliament for Mavoko, Patrick Macau. Actually, that is at page 24. Then at page 42 and 43, you will find those of Catherine Omanyo. I will not go into what they said, but I would ask the court to look at some of the issues they said, which to me were personal issues they had with the Deputy President, or some long-held grudges, which they used as their reasons for endorsing the advancement of the impeachment to the Senate. This being an impeachment trial, which, as we said, in the standard set in the Wambora case, which requires a very high standard, and the Constitution, which also talks about grossness and seriousness of the misconduct and the violation, you cannot introduce any other ground, even if that's what is your reason. You have to debate, you have to vote on the impeachment on the basis of the grounds that have been stated in the motion. So that is another failure, which on that basis I would ask the court to find that the impeachment failed to meet the standard, the constitutional standard. It has to be the constitutional standard and threshold, and therefore it ought to be declared null and void. Your Lordship, I would now move to present on the issue of lack of legal mechanisms, or rather legislation, to operationalize Article 150, in this case, of course, which incorporates the other articles on impeachment. Again, on this issue, I did make a presentation in the BBI case on the lack of legislation. In that particular case, the issue was lack of legislation for collection of signatures. And that was an important issue in the BBI case. And the court agreed, and I would ask this court to make that finding, which is extremely important, that this kind of a process, being so important, must have legislation. And I would like to state why it is important. For instance, when you look at the provisions touching on the election of a president and a deputy president, it's very clearly provided on the judicial review available to any party who is dissatisfied with the process. It's elaborate. It has to be that you come before the court, you raise your issues, the court makes a decision. Thereafter, then whoever is elected is sworn into office. So the Constitution, in a way, has actually enforced some conservative relief. However, that is not provided on the issue of impeachment, and therefore, just as important as the process of occupation of that office, so should be the process of exiting that office. And that, therefore, would require legislation to address that issue. Before this court, we argued on the issue of conservatory orders. Your Lordship, it leaves us in a difficult position. If this court was to find that this impeachment process was unconstitutional, how do we cure the fact that His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua was hounded out of office, replaced, and now he's left without a solution? Because if we say, for instance, that if we were to order him back to the office, the kind of situation we face is difficult. And that is why it's important to have legislation to provide for room for judicial intervention before the swearing in of the new occupant of an office, if the court was to ever confirm the impeachment process. It also would also aid the person, the incoming, not to come in under the cloud of illegitimacy. Because as we are here today, issues have been raised by my colleagues about the fact that the replacement came into office hurriedly without any safeguards. There was no vetting. Because being an appointee, then it reduced him to that level of requiring vetting. While for an elected deputy president, the vetting is with the people. They vet and they vote. So I would say that this is an issue that leaves us in which actually paints a cloud of doubt on the efficacy of fair hearing in the Constitution. And my hope is that the judiciary would acknowledge that the fact that we do not have conservatory orders in place was a problem. And I would explain why. In the Constitution, there is a line of succession provided that if the president is not there, the deputy president will come into office, would act in that period of vacancy. If the two of them are absent, there is a Speaker of the National Assembly. And the fact that in the ruling on conservatory orders, we did recognize the significance of this office. Therefore, it will become so important if we had legislation to even provide for such situations. What should happen? In my petition, I have only asked for two reliefs: a finding on the unconstitutionality of the process, and on the question of a lack of legislation, which as I submit before this court and ask this court to align with your colleagues in the BBI judgment, that lack can render this kind of a process flawed. I so submit to your lordships and my lady.
Thank you.
My lords and my ladies, I see it is around 5:50. I'd requested court for 20 minutes, but based on what has been submitted, I'll only take 10 minutes because I wish not to repeat and regurgitate what my seniors and the petitioners who have come before me have already told this court. Your Honor,
I don't think we'll be able to hear you now because there's another petition we are mentioning and time is well spent. Just give us a few minutes, we'll give you directions.
much obliged.
So I think our time is well spent. We have to adjourn to the next hearing date, which is 7th of May. We'll proceed with the petitioners' counsel who have not submitted, and thereafter we will proceed with the respondents on 7th of May. Should I suggest that we start at 9? Yes, 7th of May at 9. So with that, I think, yes.
No, I was waiting for my lord to finish
Ye-
giving the directions.
Yes. Yes, I've finished. We'll adjourn until 7th of May at 9. By that time, I think we'll have the services of the ceremonial hall. So we'll be in the ceremonial hall.
My lords, on behalf of the entire bar, I wish to thank the court for the patience with which the court has listened to those who were able to address the court today. Secondly, I forgot to point out that the petitioner, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, has been present in court as is entitled to, together with his friend, my colleague, Honorable Eugene Wamala. I thank the
Thank
court.
you. Thank you very much.
My lord, I know that I should not go after my pupil master, Mwita Senior. But my lord, just for the record, when Macharia submitted, he referred to senators as goons. And I hope that must be struck out of the record.
I think my colleague Tom
Wait, the
Macharia,
Did you hear anything?
my lord, through the court,
Excuse me.
Tom Macharia was
Excuse me,
talking
please.
about what you might have
Excuse me.
organized in Kisumu.
Excuse me, please. We want to confirm whether we had that.
Yes, my lord. He said.
It does not appear in my record.
Yes, he said that democracy, that parliament, that the vote that is tantamount to goonship in the legislative process. He did. And the senator for Kiambu is here. He's not a goon.
This is how they impeach the deputy president on their own record. Imaginary record.
Thank you.
My lord, with your kind permission.
Yes.
My matter still is yet to be mentioned.
Yes.
E586. And my lord, I would have been much more happier now that my lord friends are here. In fact, I would have submitted, and how beautiful it would have been, because the memory of it would just have lingered. So that, my lord, but the petition got separated. It's now floating out there.
You separated yourself.
My goodness. My lord, I do appear for the petitioner.
Where is the file?
Yes, my lord, Harrison Kinanjui. I appear for the petitioner.
Yes.
I believe there's some of my learned friends here appearing for the respondents.
This is petition
E58.
E560 of 2024. Joseph Enoch Aura versus the National Assembly.
I don't know why Mr. Gumbo now is escaping from. I was leaving the floor to him.
Thank you very much, Harrison. I was waiting, my lord, for the matter to be mentioned. I appear in that matter. My name is Gumbo Eric. I do appear with my learned friend, Mr. Paul Nyamodi, for the first and the third respondents.
For the record, my lords, I appear for the fourth, fifth, and sixth respondents, together with my learned friend, Mr. Mukele and Ms. Thanji from Senate.
My Lord, my name is Muthomithien Kolu. I appear for the 10th respondent, together with Messrs. Moses Kipkogei, Kennedy Mele, Boniface Mawera, and Kenson Mutethia.
Good evening, my lords, my lady. In the matter, my name is Dennis Nkarechia. I'll be requested to hold brief for Ms. Joy Anami, Mr. Mahat Somen, and Mr. Nura Hassan, who are on record for the 9th respondent, the IEBC.
Yes. My Lord, we do have the interested parties, but the interested parties did not take, should I say, interest in the petition. So I think can just be marked as absent. My Lord, we were supposed to appear before you on Friday last week. However, for reasons explained to us, it was not possible, by reason of which the petition then was deferred to today. My Lord, you advised that I come at 10, and I have been just lingering here. I'm probably one of those advocates that you said you haven't seen, but we were outside there, and we seem to have flooded your courtroom all of a sudden. I don't wish to take too much of your time. You've spent the whole day here, Your Lordship, my lady. And therefore, I would beg that you give us directions on the way forward. Although, I should add, we have sought the intervention of the Court of Appeal, excuse me, my voice a bit